Even if you've never considered buying a drone before, maybe it looked too technical or too intimidating, this could be the one that changes that. You don't have to think about angles or framing, because as long as you're near what you want to film with this drone, you'll capture it because the cameras see everything. It's the same creativity you get from a 360 camera like the Insta360 X5. So it's like having the Insta360 X5 flying through the air. A quick heads up, Antigravity have sponsored this video, so think of this more of a feature showcase than a deep critical review. I've flown this and I've tested it thoroughly, so I'm going to talk about what actually matters to you in the real world. The first big difference with the A1 is how you actually fly it. It uses what Antigravity call immersive flying, and that name suits it perfectly. So you put on the goggles, and instead of staring at a little screen, you're suddenly inside the video. It's really smooth and it has low latency and a 360-degree feed that reacts instantly when you turn your head. And it genuinely feels like you're up there in the sky. And you can look anywhere, above, below, behind, and all this while the drone keeps flying in another direction. With a normal FPV drone, your view is tied to the flight path and to the direction of the drone. With this, they're completely separate. And it's the difference between controlling a drone and feeling like you're flying. The A1 doesn't fly backwards, so to change directions, you either have to arc around or just turn your body and point the controller, and the drone then instantly follows. And this feels strange at first if you're used to flying a drone in a different way, but very soon it becomes second nature. And no matter where you're looking, there's a small picture-in-picture window showing the drone's front view, so you always know where it's heading. Using the controller in this way also makes manual landing very easy. You simply aim the white square pointer at your landing pad, and then the drone glides in towards it, and then simply use the slider on the controller to land. The return to home feature on this drone is brilliant, but I do prefer to try and land it manually just because it's more fun and gives you more flying experience. And they've added some really nice touches with these goggles as well. There's a built-in defogging fan that clears any mist in seconds. And it's a great feature that I wish that they would integrate into VR headsets. The telemetry, so the height, distance, and the signal info, sits right at the bottom of the display in the headset. This will depend on the size of your head, but for me, sometimes it felt slightly out of view. So I found myself tilting the headset down a bit to see it clearly. So I'd love to see an update with this where you can actually move the stats higher and just reposition them within the display area. There's also a see-through mode that uses a front camera. So this is like the pass-through mode on a VR headset. So you can then see your surroundings without removing the goggles. And the goggles can actually record your flight POV, so everything that you see in the headset and all the telemetry with audio as well. And the audio is really good. On the outside of the goggles, there's a customizable light display, and others can also see what's happening on the screen. So this turns your flight into something that everyone can enjoy watching. The grip controller is unlike anything I've used before when flying a drone, and it uses what they call free motion, and it makes flying feel effortless. So you can just forget sticks and joysticks, and you just point the controller where you want to go. You pull the trigger and the drone moves in that direction. So it's like pointing a laser and watching the drone follow. So this whole setup and how you fly this drone is far more intuitive for beginners, but there is still a steep learning curve, especially if you're used to seeing your drone physically in the sky. So this was my first time flying using goggles entirely, and it really did feel completely different and very alien at first. The more and more you fly though, you do relax into it. You can't fly without these goggles, but there is a classic FPV mode if you prefer to fly your drone using the front-facing camera view. So in terms of the learning curve with this drone, it isn't a pick up and go drone or take it out the box and go and fly within 5 minutes. There is a setup process, there's updates for the drone, the controller, the goggles, and each battery. It is easy and you are walked through, but it does take time. And if all of this is new to you, there's a lot of data coming at you, the telemetry, the signal, the battery, and it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. And even with 5 years of drone experience behind me, on my first 2 flights, I forgot to press record. And on the next flight, I forgot to unfold the antennas on the goggles. And it just made me realize how easy it is to forget those simple things when you're in the moment and you're concentrating on so many other things. I'd love for there to be a pre-flight checklist inside the goggles so it comes up with prompts to say, start recording, unfold antennas, and check various other things that you need to check from a safety perspective. And even better with the recording side of things, it'd be good to maybe have an auto record, so as soon as you take off, you can set it to start recording inside the drone. So on the subject of recording, you've got internal memory on both the drone and the goggles, but you've also got a micro SD slot on both as well. Because you're wearing the goggles when you're flying, you can't physically see the drone, and this is fine for most of the time, but I did find that when I was taking off, that I actually wanted to see the drone take off to a safe height before I actually put the goggles down. So I did actually tip them up a bit, just so I could physically see the drone. For me, it just gave me extra peace of mind, just in case a person or a dog ran into shot. I did have a spotter with me every time that I flew this drone, and in the UK it is a legal requirement when you're using goggles to fly a drone that you do have a spotter. And even if it isn't a legal requirement where you're going to be flying, I highly suggest that you do it. For me, it's just safer and smart practice. If you're still watching at this point, you're probably as curious as I was about this drone when I first saw it. And this is where it starts to get seriously fun, because this next part is what makes this drone completely different from any drone I've flown before. If you've used a camera like the Insta360 X5 or any 360 camera, you'll know how freeing this can be, in that you can just put this on a selfie stick, point it anywhere, and you just know that you're going to capture everything around you. The A1 drone takes that same idea into the sky. The drone disappears and you can fly this just in one direction and it captures everything around you. And then later you can choose which part of the image you want to point in to create your final video. There's no second operator, there's no gimbal, there's no stress about framing. You just fly it and have fun. So the A1's top and bottom cameras are stitched together using AI, and then the drone just vanishes from your shot. In the edit, you can add rolls or tilts and then export in any formats, so 16:9, 9:16, etc. For transferring footage, I've been using the Quick Reader, and it plugs into your phone via Lightning or USB-C, and the Antigravity app detects it straight away. The files are big, but the transfers are quick, so I moved around 30 minutes of footage in 20 minutes. And once imported, you can preview, pick highlights, or start reframing. And remember, with 360 footage, you're working with the full image that's all around you. So for an ordinary flat video, you're basically choosing a slice of that 360-degree image. You can add keyframes manually or just use the built-in templates that automatically reframe with dynamic moves and transitions. And if you've used the Insta360 app before, then this app will feel familiar. It's the same layout, it's just rebranded. And you can set the viewpoints as front, back, left, right, or up and down. And in the desktop studio, this version pretty much mirrors Insta360 Studio. So you have full keyframe control, you have deep track, speed changes, GPS overlays, and there's also a project timeline as well, so you can join all your clips together, add music and transitions, and create a completed video. The goggles use a neck-worn battery, and there's one included in the box. The drone's standard battery keeps it under 250 grams and gives you around 23 minutes of flight. And for safety, I tend to return to home at around 25% battery remaining, so this will give me about 15 minutes of flying time. You can get a larger 36-minute flight time battery, but that is slightly heavier, so it pushes the whole weight of the drone over 249 grams. So just check your local rules and regulations for drones over 249 grams. In the UK, for this type of drone, if you're over 249 grams, you will need a flyer ID and an operator ID. The drone has auto landing gear that retracts as the drone takes off. And you can manually put this down as well to protect the lens at the bottom. And this is obviously a necessary but a smart little detail. Safety wise, it uses obstacle avoidance using one of the cameras at the front of the drone, and also there's a camera underneath as well. And if you want to automatically return to home, you hold the return to home button, and then the drone and the software calculates a safe route back to the landing pad. And it will do that, avoiding obstacles and then locking onto the landing pad or the area that you took off from, and then it will touch down perfectly. And there's also a payload detection with this drone, so you couldn't go and mount another camera to the top of it, because it will detect that something's been added to the drone, and then it will just land for safety. There are some really clever AI tools built into the drone. I haven't had a chance to test them, but inside the menu you can select deep track, which locks onto a subject and then keeps them perfectly framed as you fly. And then there are also two even smarter ones that take things to another level, and this is Skypath and Sky Genie. So Skypath lets you plan a route and then have the drone fly it automatically. So this is ideal for cinematic moves, or you can let the drone do the move and then hand the goggles to your friend and they can experience the cinematic flight through the goggles. Sky Genie gives you preset moves like arc shot, spiral ascent and oval orbit, all with just one tap. And these are powerful creator tools, all built in and selected through the headset. In terms of pricing, the A1 sits in the premium category, and it should. It's the world's first 8K 360 drone. You're paying for a completely new kind of flying experience, something that literally just didn't exist before. This is not going to be for everyone. This is for creators that want to push the boundaries of what a drone can do. It's another example of what Insta360 do best, pushing boundaries and giving creators tools that make creativity easier. And for beginners, this drone might be the first drone that actually just makes sense from the way that you fly it and the way that you capture footage. So what do you think? Do you fancy flying one of these? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to download your free PDF below, 7 drone mistakes to avoid. You can watch this video next for more anti-gravity A1 drone tips, and I'll see you over there.